Hi, welcome to Elemental Birth. I'm Ruth. Nice to have you here with me tonight. I'm really sorry, I've got new glasses today and I've just seen how much glare there is in there. I promise there's eyes underneath all the glare. Hi, so lovely to have you. I wanted to start off just by telling you a little bit about myself and about Elemental Birth and where we're coming from. So I came at this really from two routes. So part of me came at this on a personal level. So when I was trying to get pregnant for the first time, I was actually quite young. I was in my early 20s and I appeared to be quite physically fit, but it took me 5 years to fall pregnant. And so in that time, I really went on quite a journey and I gained quite a lot of knowledge about fertility and health. My ethos throughout my life, certainly throughout my adult life, has to been as much as possible to try and do things naturally and to try and do things in tune with my body and to not fight what my body is doing, but to try and understand what my body is doing and then kind of try and reach compromise, find out why my body isn't doing what I want it to do and how we can get there, what I need to change, what I need to adapt, how I can improve, how can I improve my health. So that was really the first stepping stone, although I didn't realise it at the time. That was my first stepping stone towards creating Elemental Birth. And then the second thing that's happened has been that for the last 5 years, I've trained and then I've been working for the NCT, the National Childbirth Trust. So the NCT, I've been doing the antenatal classes through them. So I meet women at the other end, to the point of the journey where we're at now. I meet women in their third trimester, and quite often, towards the end of their third trimester, I'm meeting women 32, 33, 34 weeks, maybe even a little bit later. So really towards the end of their pregnancy journey. And I'm talking to them much more about birth and then life afterwards. But what that has highlighted for me, what that experience has highlighted for me, is how many health issues are incredibly common in pregnancy and can go on to cause complications in the pregnancy, in the birth, and postnatally. And of course, when you look into those root causes of why are there so many women with hypertension, why are there so many women with gestational diabetes, why are there so many women experiencing this or that or the other, it's nearly all issues that have actually started at this point, pre-conception, before they've ever become pregnant. They haven't been in optimal health at the point that they've become pregnant, and then that's created this domino effect. When we put extra stress on our body, that's when it will highlight to us, actually there's this underlying issue that I need you to do something about, and pregnancy will cause that extra stress. So even physical things, your PGP, pelvic girdle pain, SPD, symphysis pubis dysfunction, that kind of thing. Yeah, that can be things that we can actually resolve before they ever occur by treating the body before we fall pregnant. So a combination of those two things, that when I'm teaching these women, I'm helping these women as much as I can. Sorry, not just women, pregnant people, as much as I can. I was thinking, in some ways, I'm too late. I can help with a certain element, but what I'd really like is for just this problem to have never occurred, or for us to have been able to have this conversation a long, long time ago, and hopefully treated it a lot earlier, so we hadn't got to this point, So this is where Elemental Birth came from, kind of a mixture of my own personal experiences and then my continued life experiences through other people's pregnancy and birth journeys. So that's what we've got. This is how we came to Elemental Birth. So what I'm going to go through with you tonight is really the foundations. This is the free workshop. So I'm going to be covering the 5 cornerstones needed for healthy body, healthy mind, healthy soul, for preconception. And then the next step after this, if you enjoy this session, if you get benefit from this session, then the next step is going to be the conscious conception. full program, which I will send you details through. But that's really juicy, really meaty. I'm so looking forward to it. It's a 6-week program. It's going to be quite small, little intimate group. I don't want to have big groups where there's no time for questions and no time to get to know each other. I want people to be able to ask and be given a full and complete answer to anything that they're concerned about or experiencing. And I want a group of people who are looking to become pregnant who can bond with each other and really have that strong foundational friendship group as well. Yeah, so that's kind of where conscious conception is going to be coming in, and it's going to be me with my experience. So as I say, obviously I've got a certain amount of life experience. I've taught for the NCT for the last 5 years. I've got my degree with the NCT, and part of that includes yoga as well. So I will go through some bodywork elements with you. We'll touch upon a few today, and then there's much more in the full conscious conception course. And then in that full course, I've also got an absolutely fantabulous massage therapist, Lorna Phillips, and an equally fantabulous prenatal nutritionalist, Helena Bingham, who will be doing some of the sessions as well. So we'll really be treating mind, body, soul, getting everything completely ready, completely optimized, ready to conceive your baby. It's really the course that I wish I'd done before I had my babies all those years ago. So yeah, that's what it is. It's my dream course, and I'm really, really looking forward to sharing it with you, and I hope you get that real benefit out of it. So moving on to tonight's session, let me go into the screen share. So here we are, elemental birth. This is me. Boost Your Fertility Workshop. That's what we're here for tonight. So we're starting off step 1, and this is really, really the beginning, the foundation. I would say essential. I would really, really say essential. Charting your cycle. As a person who menstruates, who ovulates, who is looking to become pregnant, you need to understand what your body is doing, when and why. And then when you're taking steps to improve your fertility, you will have a much better idea of whether those steps are getting what you want if you're charting your cycle. Yeah. So let's have a look at the basics. Yeah. So the very, very basics to be aware of is that throughout your menstrual cycle, your temperature will alter slightly. So we start off, I've got a sample chart here that I can show you. So we start off on day 1. Now this person is actually charting on a calendar month, so they aren't starting off on day 1. This is day 1 of the cycle, when we see a big dip in the temperature, and that dip means that you're going to menstruate that day. So hopefully already you can see a real clear and complete benefit of charting your cycle. We don't have anymore that question of when's AF going to arrive, you know, when's my period, when's my menstrual cycle going to arrive. I better pack some tampons, I better pack pads or a cup just in case, because it could be today, it could be today, it could be today. Or I've only got my fancy pants clean, so I'm going to put a pad in ready just in case. You know, all of that kind of stuff. We've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there. But actually, if you're charting your cycle, it removes that mystery. You just know. You wake up in the morning, you take your temperature, absolutely first thing. So it's before you've drunk water, before you've spoken, before you've checked your phone, any of those things. I mean, really, you want to be doing it with your eyes half shut. You know, my daughter does this fantastic impression of what I look like when I wake up. It's not flattering, I promise, but that's the state that you want to be in when you're putting that thermometer in. I've got a few couples who do it as a couple, and it can be a really lovely little bonding experience for you as a partnership looking to conceive together. That especially if the partner wakes up first thing in the morning, which is often the case, particularly if you're in a heterosexual relationship, men tend to sleep less than women. There is biological reasons, isn't there, why women need more sleep than men. But by the by, whatever gender you are and your partner is, if your partner wakes up slightly before you, and then they can just pop the thermometer in while you're still asleep, that's even better. That you know, if they get up 6, 7 o'clock, whatever time, and pop that thermometer in, and then they can just put it on the side. All the digital thermometers that you can get now, which are super easy, they're not even expensive. I was in my health food shop today and they had digital thermometers for £7.50. You know, it's really not a major investment, but they'll store your temperature. So they take the temperature, you can just leave it on the side, and then you just click on the button whenever you do wake up, you know, and you can see properly, see what that temperature was, and then just chart it on your chart. There's also apps, isn't there? There's quite a lot of apps these days that you can use to chart your cycle. There isn't any right or wrong. It's whichever way works for you. Yeah. I learnt it with pen and paper, so that's how I tend to do it, but honestly, it doesn't matter at all. So taking your temperature first thing in the morning, and day 1 of the cycle is when we see a dip in the temperature, and we want to see a dip of at least 2/10. I do my charts in centigrade, but if you're more familiar with Fahrenheit, that's absolutely fine, and it's still 2/10 of a degree. It doesn't make any difference whether it's centigrade or Fahrenheit. It's still 2/10 of a degree. So at least 2/10 of a degree is symbolizing, signifying, letting you know that you're going to menstruate that day. And then your temperature will stay fairly low for the remainder of the time that you're menstruating. So however long that is, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, however long you menstruate for. And then when you ovulate, so this is a stereotypical 28-day cycle, and you'll see a lot of kind of practice charts, example charts that are on a 28-day cycle, because it makes it easier for us to explain. But lots of people don't have 28-day cycles, and it isn't necessarily an issue when you're looking to conceive, the length of your cycle. So you can have a longer cycle and still conceive, and you can have a shorter cycle and still conceive. The most important things are when you ovulate in your cycle, how many days you've got between menstruation and ovulation, and how many days between ovulation and menstruation. Yeah, so the chart splits itself up into 2. So if we look at a stereotypical cycle, yeah, that kind of medical textbook cycle, if you will, we would expect ovulation to occur on about day 14-ish. Yeah, menstruate day 1, ovulate day 14. And some people are lucky, this person has got it, but not everybody does at all, that they actually have a temperature dip again, maybe of 1/10 or maybe again of 2/10 on the day that they ovulate. And that can be really handy, so that you know that's the day you're ovulating. Obviously, if you're looking to conceive, then that's the day you want to be making love, having sex, whatever you want to call it, trying to conceive. And if you're looking to avoid pregnancy, which hopefully you're not if you're on this course today, that is when you want to avoid sex. Yeah. But if you don't have that dip, don't worry. As I say, lots of people don't. What you will see is that 2 to 3 days after you ovulate, your temperature will rise up. Yeah, and again, at least 2/10 of a degree, but it's quite common for it to rise more than that, and even to go up 0.5 of a degree after you ovulate, so that you know that that event occurred. And then again, your temperature will stay high until you menstruate again. If your temperature stays high for 18 days in a row, then it's quite likely that you're pregnant. We're going to have a look at a chart in a minute that could symbolize other things that indicate pregnancy. So basic chart, menstruate day 1, temperature goes down, might have another dip when you ovulate, temperature goes back again, 2 to 3 days after you ovulate, and will stay high until you menstruate. So really, really simple. I don't know why they don't teach this in schools in the UK. I wish they did, because I think it gives everybody so much of a better understanding of what their bodies are doing, and it gives you an idea about conception or avoiding conception, or just understanding the impact of your lifestyle as well, because this part of the chart, the first part, the follicular phase, can change. Yeah, month by month you might find this change. The date between when you menstruate and when you ovulate is really subject. If you are sick, it will probably be late. If you are stressed, it will probably be late. Extreme weather changes for some people can delay their ovulation. Yeah, basically, if that cave person bit of your brain says there's some danger, it's going to delay ovulation, isn't it? Of course it is. It's going to say, I don't want to get pregnant at this time because there's saber-toothed tigers, you're sick, there's, you know, earthquakes, whatever, it will delay ovulation. But the second part of your phase, the luteal phase, doesn't tend to change. That is normally the same. The amount of days between ovulation and menstruation is normally fixed, but it can vary a little bit. And again, it's why we talk about those dietary and lifestyle changes that we're going to come to in a minute, because if it's really, really short, that can be indicative of what the issue with conception is. And so we can talk about lengthening that. Yeah. Ideally as well, we want this follicular phase. The longer side tends to be better because it gives more time for the uterine lining to grow and make that really juicy environment for a fertilized egg to settle into. So I'm going to show you a couple more charts now for you to have a look through. So this chart is what we call a slow rise, and it's completely common, not indicative of any issues, but it might be another way that your chart looks. So rather than having one nice, big, juicy, easy to read rise, oh look, one day my temperature was 36 degrees and the next day it was 36.5 degrees. I know that I ovulated 2 days ago. It actually does quite a few little 1 or 2/10 of a degree jump over 3 or 4 days instead. So that's called a slow rise. And that's quite common. And as I say, not indicative of any issues at all. It's just another way that our bodies can register that change. And then we can also get what's called the step back as well, which is where we have a lovely big jump a couple of days after ovulation, really nice and clear, lovely, yes, ovulation definitely occurred, and then the temperature can dip back down again and then come back up again. Isn't necessarily a sign of any problems in itself, it's just another variation of normal in most people. Now this chart, I have written the title at the top to give you a little bit of a clue of what it means. So this is an ovulation chart. So this is showing that actually ovulation didn't occur. This is common, particularly I think this person was somebody with polycystic ovary syndrome, although there can be other things that can mean that ovulation doesn't occur. And sometimes you just have an odd month where ovulation doesn't occur. That's not uncommon either. So this is what we call an ovulation chart, where although there are some temperature variations, there are no major dips or rises, and none big enough to indicate ovulation. It's all kind of around 1 or 2/10 of a degree, and the temperature goes up and down quite a lot. Yeah. And this last chart, hopefully some of you who are already charting will have an idea of what this chart indicates. So what we have is that nice dip at menstruation, and then we have another dip at ovulation, and then we have a nice big sharp rise 2 days after ovulation. And then we have what we call a triphasic chart. So we have another big rise, and then the temperature stays high. So this is a sign of pregnancy. This can indicate pregnancy. So what some people find is that they have a raise when they ovulate, and then they have another jump when that fertilized egg implants. And this person did have a dip, but that could be anything, couldn't it? You know, a one dip in a chart is rarely a cause for concern. It normally means you accidentally took a sip of water before you took your temperature, and then the temperature carries on up. And as I mentioned earlier, 18 high days in a row, that's a good time to do a pregnancy test, because it's quite likely that it will be positive. Yeah. So that's your basics of charting. As I say, I really think it's essential. And when you're looking at some of the changes we're going to talk about in a moment, what we'd like to see is that if your temperature is overall quite low, which can be a sign of just general not good health, if your body temperature is on the lower end of normal. So we normally want temperatures to be a minimum of 35.9, but up to 37 degrees would be considered normal. You have to see where you fall in that. But if your temperature is more the 35.9 end, or even a couple of tenths of a degree below that, it might just be that your overall health is not great. Not necessarily, but it can be a sign that your overall health is not great. And so when we're implementing some of these changes, what we'd like to see in that chart is that actually your overall basal body temperature is coming up a bit. yeah, a couple of tenths of a degree. And if we're seeing issues with certain parts of the cycle being longer or shorter than is optimal, then that's what we want to see. We want to see them getting closer to optimal. And it will give you an idea. Yeah, if you're starting to implement changes when you're charting, you'll have an idea. Oh, look, I can see that that's different from last month, and that's better, or that's worse, or that's the same. You know, it just gives you an idea. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is some dietary stuff, building blocks for your hormones. Yeah, this is just so important. Obviously, or hopefully, obviously, even just school level of biology, you're understanding that we've got to have good hormonal balance to be fertile, for our bodies to be operating at an optimal level. Yeah. So when we're looking at building blocks for the hormones, what I want to talk to you about today is those essential fatty acids. And that is what our hormones are actually made from. Our reproductive hormones are made from fats. So we have this constant message, don't we, within the Western world, within the Western diet, that fat is bad and we should be avoiding it. And I've even had clients who I've spoken to, they've said, no, I know it's not my diet, I eat really healthily. And when we break down what they're actually eating, they're not eating anywhere near enough fats. And that's what it comes down to. Yeah, that we have to be having a good amount of fats. Now, the fats I want to talk to you about today are the omegas, particularly omega-3 and omega-6. We'll touch a little bit upon omega-9, which is why you've got the avocado there. But omega-3 and 6 are essential. Our bodies cannot make omega-3 and 6 from other things. We have to be eating them directly from source. If we are eating a nice amount of omega-3 and omega-6, then our body can make omega-9. But if you find that you are drawn to sources of omega-9, you know, that's absolutely fine. You can always eat it. Yeah, so that's our starting point, is looking at those good and healthy fats that we want to be having in our diets. So omega-6, most people with a fairly standard Western diet don't struggle too much with omega-6 because it comes from animal fats and it comes from olive oil. So it's not too hard for us to source in a fairly standard Western diet. But if you know that you don't eat those things on a fairly regular basis, then it might be something that you want to be introducing into your diet. Now, when we're talking about animal fats, I'm going to touch upon briefly now what to avoid. Not too processed. Yeah, I mean, your best stuff really is kind of grass-fed, organic types of meat. Red meat contains more omega fats than white meat, but eggs as well are a good source of omega-6. Cheeses, dairy, if you eat dairy, that's a good source of omega-6 as well. Although again, if you can get organic, please do, because it avoids some of the nasties that are in non-organic food, which might be blocking your hormones or blocking your health. Yeah. The animal products that aren't organic might well have been fed antibiotics. Antibiotics will pass through to you and will kill off some of your gut bacteria, yeah, which will really affect all of your overall health. So omegas, yeah, so omega-6, as I say, animal fats, and olive oil have got omega-6. Omega-3 is what we normally need to be introducing more of. Omega-3, the easiest way to get it is in large amounts, is to oily fish. Yeah, so salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, all of those are good sources of omega-3. There's actually some evidence that what made what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not an ape. Yes, apes. That's it. Not monkey, I'm an ape. Yeah. What made the ape-type beings that were pre-humans different and evolve into humans was that they moved to large bodies of inland water, so lakes basically, and then spent enormous amounts of their time, almost semi-aquatic lifestyle, like elephants, and spent nearly all of our time swimming and eating enormous amounts of fish. That we had almost a fish-based diet, yeah, with just small amounts of vegetation that went along with it. And the omega-3 that was in that fish is what made our brains grow and what made those apes develop into humans instead of chimpanzees. Yeah, so omega-3, it feeds our brain, it feeds our hormones. It's so good for us. I have so many people that when they increase their omega-3, they suddenly go, oh, feel like a different person. You know, the omega-3 is what makes our happy hormones as well. So if you're the type of person that's just feeling kind of low grade miserable, but you don't really have a reason for it, get omega-3 in your life. Yeah, so oily fish is a good place to start. But if you're vegetarian, vegan, or you just don't like fish, some people are not fishy people, that's absolutely fine. Seeds is your next best source. Yeah, so flax seeds is great. You can get it from the actual seeds, you know, sprinkle them on your breakfast cereal, put them in a smoothie, put them on top of porridge, whatever you like to add a crunch to. Or you can use flaxseed oil, but if you use the oil, you can't cook with it. You need to have it raw, because if you cook with it, the cooking process will destroy the fats. Yeah, will break them down, and they won't be the same thing when you ingest them. So if you're using flaxseed oil, pop it on your salads as a salad dressing, put it on top of I like it on ricey dishes, yeah, so like a risotto or something like that, because it just adds a little bit of richness to it and a little bit of a nutty flavor without making the food unpalatable. So that kind of thing, pasta as well, just to add it into those dishes. Also hemp seeds, I've got a little list here, hemp seeds, chai seeds, yeah, and walnuts are all good sources of omega-3s as well. Yeah, Barbara Wren, who's just amazing. If you haven't read Barbara Wren's stuff, please do. She's absolutely fantastic. Barbara Wren feels that we should be eating at least 2 to 3 times more omega-3 than omega-6. So that's the other place that we commonly make mistake. In a Western diet, we tend to eat much more omega-6 than omega-3. So switch that around. Lots and lots of big, juicy, yummy omega-3 compared to omega-6. Yeah, and you will find one thing I'm really a fan of, and I go into more detail in my full course, is listening to your body. So important. And when you start listening to your body and getting in tune with your body, it will tell you what it wants. It will give you really clear messages. Sometimes I'm going around the supermarket and I start literally salivating, you know, have to be a bit careful to dribble in the aisles of Tesco at things like avocados. My body's just going, oh, yum, 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 I want that. And I'll go through maybe a week, 2 or 3 days, or up to a week of having avocado. Like every time I go into my kitchen, I see the avocado there. Oh, I'm just going to put it on some toast. Oh, I'm just going to whip it up and make it into like a chocolate mousse thing with some cacao, whatever. I just need to eat some avocados. And then it goes. And my whole body just goes, no, no more. And I'll taste it, chalky. Ugh, no, I don't want that. Yeah. And it's just your body telling you really clearly, this is what I need. This is what I don't need. Yeah. So once we get to that level of being in tune with your body, it's just gorgeous, just glorious. You can trust yourself and eat a balanced diet without trying, just by listening to your diet. Yeah, but fats, super important. And the other thing to avoid, just to highlight again, I touched on it briefly there, is trans fats. Trans fats we really need to avoid. They have no good place in a nutritional diet. Yeah, they will block stuff. Your body will store them because it doesn't know what else to do with them, so they cause weight gain and fat around your organs. Trans fats are really, really not good. But the good news is they're very easy to avoid, because trans fats are almost exclusively in processed food. Yeah, they're just your processed meats, ready meals, all of that kind of stuff. That is what you're getting your trans fats from. Takeaways, yeah, that's what you're getting your trans fats from. So while you're trying to conceive, while you're keeping your body in optimal health, cut them out. Yeah, avoid those trans fats as much as possible. Margarine, yeah, it's a tough one if you're vegetarian or vegan or just dairy free to avoid the margarine. Try coconut oil, try olive oil, something else, another source of good fats rather than bad fats. You can actually put flaxseed oil just straight on bread, straight on crackers, and then you're eating those yummy good fats rather than bad fats. Yeah, give those a try. So next one, your pathway for release. Yeah, I'm talking about elimination. I'm talking about how our bodies get rid of stuff that they don't need in them anymore. So I do sometimes see memes or see posts or even talk to people in person. My goodness, in those days before social media, and we talk to human beings saying, well, We don't need any help with release, because that's what our livers and our kidneys are for. That's what our digestive system does. All this stuff about toxins is just nonsense. Anything about cleanses or any of the rest of it is just rubbish, because that's what our bodies are designed to do. Now, on the one hand, absolutely that is right. If we lived how we were evolved to live, if we lived as cave people, as we lived as those early hominids lived, no problem. Of course, we wouldn't need any extra route for elimination. No problem at all. Yeah, we'd just be going through that physiological route, and our bodies would be functioning optimally. But we don't. Do we? We live in the Western world in 2020, and we don't live as we were evolved to live. And even if we eat optimally, so even if we're eating organic and we're just eating good stuff that our body wants, with very little waste product, drinking lots of water, keeping ourselves nourished, all of that kind of stuff, we've got environmental toxins. So within your own house, there could be mold spores, there can be cleaning products. Yeah, lots of cleaning products have stuff in them which our bodies aren't very happy about. But even if you're keeping your own house clean, there's a council local to me that uses Roundup, glycosulfate, uses that. There was a court case in America only last year that said categorically this particular gardener's exposure to Roundup is what caused his cancer and made him die. And Monsanto, who make Roundup, had to pay enormous amounts of money out, but it's still there. Nobody took it off the shelves. Nobody said, so let's stop making this product. Let's stop using it around schools and parks. They use it around our children. Yeah, and it is absolutely used all over the place. And it's been found in breast milk. It's been found inside fetal cells. It's been found in blood samples of newborns. It gets into our body, and our bodies don't know what to do with it. It can't follow the normal physiological process for release, because it isn't a normal compound that is found in nature. So our bodies just get lost. They don't know what to do with it. So this is why we need to support our bodies, because there's all these environmental toxins as well as stuff that we might be ingesting, whether we mean to or not. So in addition to our physiological routes for elimination, we can support our bodies, we can help them, we can strengthen them, we can give them extra routes for release. So the two things that I want to talk to you about today are skin brushing, which is for your circulation, which is really, really easy. And in your Roundup email, I've got a little video of me doing skin brushing. Now, skin brushing, ideally, we want to be doing naked, obviously, because we want to be brushing your whole skin top to bottom. So I do it just before I get in the shower. But don't worry, I'm not naked in the video. No, nobody needs to see that. Yeah. But this is a little picture of a skin brush just up here. Natural bristles are definitely best. Very easy to get hold of. You can get hold of them Holland & Barrett, Boots, online, very, very easy. And they're not particularly expensive. Somewhere in the region of £10 will get you a totally decent body brush. And you basically, it boosts your circulation. You do nice firm strokes with this brush. You start off on the soles of your feet and you're brushing everything towards your heart. So it boosts your circulation, stimulates the skin, and it just helps your body just remove those surface toxins. Yeah, so it feels glorious. And from a complete vanity point of view, it helps to exfoliate. Yeah. It is important not to do it if you're constipated, because you'll just be circulating toxins. We don't want to be doing that. So if you're constipated, then don't do skin brushing. But outside of that, it's absolutely lovely. It can help with things like eczema and other skin conditions as well. So it's skin brushing. Yeah, nice, easy investment. Lovely addition to your self-care routine, but will also be helping your body to eliminate toxins at the same time. And then Epsom salt baths and magnesium. Yeah, so Epsom salts are a source of magnesium. That's what the crystalline structure is made from. It's crystallized magnesium. Magnesium is just essential. I cannot wax lyrical enough about magnesium. Again, this is another big Barbara Wren thing. You'll get it. Yeah, you'll get it when you talk to me. I love Barbara Wren. But on a cellular level, what happens on our cells to aid osmosis, hopefully you remember osmosis from GCSE, however many years ago that was, is that from a cellular level, we need to have magnesium and potassium going into cells, and then we need to have sodium and calcium coming out of the cells. Yeah, magnesium and potassium goes in, sodium and calcium goes out, and that gets the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. That's what our bodies need to be functioning optimally. Yeah, so where we tend to struggle in the West is with lack of magnesium. Yeah, most of us don't have enough magnesium-rich food in our diets. Soil depletion has meant that even if we're eating what would stereotypically be a good source of magnesium, we might actually be struggling to reach the magnesium needs of our body. And Epsom salt baths are fantastic, that we actually get the magnesium in through our skin instead of getting it in orally. Although it's definitely good to be doing both. But today I'm talking to you about those Epsom salt baths. So they're traditionally used by athletes, by sports people. Yeah, that when they've got those aches and pains, muscular discomfort, Epsom salt baths are fantastic. That's what magnesium does. It helps our muscles cramp effectively. Yeah, so where we're getting pains, muscular pains, it's from the muscles cramping up and not being able to release. And that's what magnesium does, is it goes deep within the cells of the muscles and it allows them to release. So magnesium is just essential. And when you are looking to become pregnant, magnesium carries on being completely essential, because what is birth? It is an enormous cramping of the uterine muscle, as well as lots of other stuff, but the cramping of the uterine muscle is essential. And if we've got high levels of magnesium, there's actually some research, some thinking that higher levels of magnesium might equate to lower amounts of discomfort in labour. Yeah, so magnesium is your friend. So we only need 1 cup, and when I say a cup, like an American measurement, yeah, cup, 1 cup in your normal bath. I like my baths approximately the temperature that would melt asbestos, but it doesn't matter what temperature you have your bath as long as the Epsom salts dissolve. And then have a lovely big long soak. Yeah, let it really sink in right into your muscles, sinking in. So again, both of those are gorgeous, glorious. You should enjoy doing them. They should be a fun part of your self-care routine. So skin brushing and Epsom salt baths are a really good place to start when we look at supporting our physiological routes for elimination. Let's come on to our next one. So connecting with your body through joyous movement. Now this may sound like a bit of a mouthful, but I really wanted to explain what I meant really fully and completely. So again, one of the things that is very, very common, the majority of people don't move enough. When you think about how we evolved as human beings, we didn't have chairs or beds or anything else that supported our bone structure and our muscular structure. We would have spent all of our time pretty much, other than when we were sleeping on the floor or sleeping in trees, we would have spent our whole time supporting our own bone structure and muscular structure. Yeah, so we create health issues for ourselves by not moving enough on a physical level. On a mental level, when you are looking to conceive, particularly if you've been trying for a while, and you might have diagnosed infertility, or you might have those early stages, you've been trying for 6 months, 8 months, less than a year, so undiagnosed infertility. You can get frustrated. We all get frustrated with our own bodies. Yeah, and you can get into negative self-talk. My body doesn't do what I want it to do. It's a stupid body. It's not working. It's not doing what I need it to do. But guess what? Your body is listening to you and it believes you. If you tell it over and over again that it's infertile, it's not working, it's a broken body, your body will listen to you and agree. Yeah, we need to change that self-talk round. So that's why we're connecting with our body through joyous movement. So it's things that get that endorphin rush. Yeah, those positive hormones. Endorphins have a really similar chemical structure to morphine. They give us that high, that elation. That's what endorphins do. They make us feel really good. And that's what we want. We want to be getting that, oh, my body feels good, my body feels glorious, my body is wonderful and clever, and it can do all these fantastic things. So I've put a picture of this lady running. So if you enjoy running and it makes you feel good and it gets you those endorphin rushes, then absolutely, my partner runs and cycles, and I can tell when he hasn't exercised enough, he gets really grumpy. I send him out, off you go exercise. He's a different person. He needs it. He needs that regular endorphin rush and brain space. When we are just doing something physical, it gives our brains space to file things away and sort things out. We don't even need to do it consciously, and we can feel better about things that we're stressed about. Me, I'm a yoga person. Yeah, you'll get that throughout my courses. I love yoga. I'm a real yoga person. On my YouTube channel, you'll see a sun salutation video, which is a real simple way of just connecting with your body every day. I get out of bed every morning, I go through sun salutation probably 4 or 5 times at least, while I'm still in my pajamas, and just connecting with my body, stretching out, getting my body started for the day. You can start it with a positive intention as well. One of my absolute favorites, I couldn't find a picture that properly depicted it, but one of my absolute favorites is dancing. Yeah. Now, if you are the kind of person that likes ballroom dancing, or you like line dancing, or whatever, yeah, this lady's doing some glorious kind of Bollywood style dancing. Do it. If that's what makes you feel good, get whatever music on, go to a class, do that kind of music. But actually, what I love is putting on probably something from the 90s, which shows my age if nothing else, putting it on a bit louder than my neighbours would like me to, and dancing like crazy in the kitchen. Yeah, nobody's watching, nobody pays, well, sometimes my kids come in, but they think that that's what dancing looks like, so it's fine. So dance like nobody is watching. Yeah, and just get those endorphins running, get yourself feeling good about your body, connect with yourself in this really joyous, gorgeous way that makes your body feel good, that makes you feel good. Get out there, yeah? And then the other 2 ways that can be really good and positive to connect with yourself through joyous movement, connecting with your body through joyous movement, are intimately, in an adult way. Yeah, so this lady is definitely enjoying herself by herself. Yeah, so I'm definitely talking about masturbation. It's a good thing. Gets your oxytocin going, gets your endorphins going, gets your body feeling good. It's a really positive feedback system that you are making your own body feel good. Your body likes you for doing that, and you like your body for rewarding you with those positive hormones that it floods your system with when you orgasm. Get orgasming. Yeah, get really familiar with your body. Become your body's own best friend. And masturbation can absolutely be a great way of doing that, connecting with yourself and connecting with those positive hormones. And then the second way is with your partner. Yeah, this is a heterosexual couple, but it really doesn't matter. Connecting with your partner, with your romantic partner, through intimacy. Yeah, so it can become a bit perfunctory when you are in a heterosexual relationship and you're looking to conceive. It can get a bit right. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, that's the day that I ovulate. Come home, do me, no ifs, no buts. I'm not bothered about foreplay. If we do anything oral, we might end up killing that good sperm. So none of that, just straight off, put it in, A goes into B, let's make a baby. But think about it. Is that really the energy you want to be behind making your baby? Probably not. Carlos Castaneda writes about how there's so many boring people out there in the world because they're all conceived with boring sex. Don't have a boring baby. Have a really interesting, exciting baby. Have a baby that you conceived in the bathroom. Like, whatever, yeah? But get intimate. Have fun. If you are away into your conception journey and sex is becoming a source of stress because you just want to make a baby, and so sex for you equals baby, and it's difficult to get out of that routine, I would really recommend having sex with your partner that doesn't involve penis into vagina. Yeah, which is easier if you're not in a heterosexual relationship. But if you are in a heterosexual relationship and you're looking for that kind of conception, ideally have a month off. Yeah, but even if you can't do that, outside of those fertile days when you're looking to conceive, Have time to be intimate with your partner in a way that definitely isn't going to make a baby. Yeah, I've been there. I know that we all do it. Well, I'm not going to ovulate for another 5 days, but maybe if I have sex now, I might ovulate early and the sperm might live for a long time. We might accidentally make a baby. Or I know I already ovulated, but maybe I'm going to release 2 eggs this month. And even though I ovulated 2 days ago, maybe the egg's still there, or maybe I'm going to release another one. So we'll have some sex anyway, and maybe it will make a baby. Or maybe I was wrong and that wasn't ovulation, so we'll have to stop. If you don't want to take a month off, still have sex as you were on your fertile days, please have fun. But also try and make time for each other to have some sex that definitely isn't going to make a baby, in whichever way that means to you. Yeah, so just be intimate with each other in a way that definitely isn't going to conceive, just to bring that joy and that romance and that love, physical love, back into your partnership, because it can slip away and then it can be difficult to get back. Yeah, and some of the damage, some of the mental damage and the soul level damage that we can feel when we're struggling to conceive and it isn't happening, is that it's that loss of romance and connection and intimacy with our partners and with our best friends. Yeah, so that can be one way that you can look to bring it back. So however you want to do it, connect, a combination of those ways is fantastic, whatever works for you. Connect with your body through joyous movement. Love your body. You're fantastic. You're beautiful and you're perfect. You are perfect, I promise you. You are not broken. You are perfect. Yeah. Okay. Last one. Connecting with your baby. Connecting with your baby. I'm going to get a bit deep now. I'm going to talk about soul stuff. Your baby is out there. If you can hear that knock, knock, knock on your door of your baby calling you, yeah, I want you to be my mama. I want you to be my papa. I want you to be my parent. Yeah, they're there. You are already a mother, a father, a parent. You are already there. All that has to happen is the physical step. That's it. But you're already a parent. On a soul level, you and your baby have already agreed that that's the relationship you're going to have. You're there. If we connect with that soul that's out there waiting for us, it can remind us, yeah, that that baby is there. It might even give you a little bit of an indication of the kind of baby that it's going to be. Some people get a really clear idea of the gender of their baby. And, you know, not always. Sometimes we can have what would be defined as a female soul born into a male body, as I'm sure you are all aware. But sometimes people get a really clear idea of the gender. Sometimes they get like a little flavor of the kind of personality their baby has, or they get maybe even an idea of what they're going to look like physically, whatever. But it's just that connection, knowing on a soul level, on a true heart, soul, mind, whole being connection level, that they're there, knowing that they're there. So what I want to do with you, just to finish up, is to do that, is to go through that with you. I've got a guided visualization that I'm going to talk you through, to connect with your baby's soul. So I want you to get yourself really, really physically comfortable. If you want to stay sitting, then stay sitting, but you might find that you're more comfortable lying down. You don't need to see my face for this bit. So as long as you can hear my voice, you can leave your device wherever it is. I don't need to see you. So just get yourself really, really comfy on your bed, on your sofa, on your floor, on your yoga mat, wherever you are. Just get yourself really, really comfy. If you want to pop a pillow or a cushion underneath your head, then do that when you've got yourself ready. Start off at the top. Bring your awareness to your jaw. We tend to store tension in our jaw. Yeah, really, really common storage place. Gritting the teeth, grinding the teeth, storing tension in the jaw. Give it a little wobble. Oh, loosen it up. Yeah, let go with the jaw. Where's your tongue? If your tongue is pushed into the roof of your mouth, it's going to tense your jaw, and we want to let go. So just stick it out for a minute. Let it go. Yeah, just release that tension. Come down to the neck. How's the neck feeling? Breathe deeply a couple of times. Let that neck really open up. Let it fill with positive air. Come down to the shoulders Another really common place to draw attention. Take the ear towards the shoulder, let the shoulder hang loose. Even lying down you can do this, doesn't matter if your hair messes up. A little bit of what I call tick-tock. Ear over to the shoulder. Roll those shoulders back. Let there be a really big distance between your shoulders and your ears. Roll them back, sink them down. Let them be completely held and supported by whichever surface is underneath you or behind you. Come down now to your chest. How's your breathing feeling? Are you tight? Is it shallow? Let go. Come up. Bring in a couple of really deep breaths. Feel that diaphragm move. If you find that when you're breathing your shoulders are coming up, that's a shallow breath. Yeah? Bring it down. Feel your chest come forwards, and you should feel those sides opening and maybe even the back. Yeah, really full, gorgeous breath. Fill your body full of breath. Feel your diaphragm move. Come down to your abdominals now. How are they feeling? How's your insides feeling? Give it a little rub. Yeah. Women's abdominals like to be rubbed in clockwise direction. Yeah. Men's in counterclockwise. I'm just talking here about the biological sexes, whatever gender you identify with. People with uteruses tend to like to be rubbed in a clockwise direction. People without uteruses tend to want to be rubbed in a counterclockwise direction. Yeah. Come down further. Have those hips and buttocks. Give them a little wiggle. If you're still sitting up, wiggle them into the chair. If you're lying down now, wiggle them into your bed or your sofa, your mat, whatever you're lying on. Give them a little wiggle. Loosen them up. Yeah. Let those legs go. Let your feet just flop open. Any tension in your thighs, in your knees, give your knees a little bounce. Give your thighs a little jiggle. Let it go. Yeah. And let's come to the arms last of all. Let them just, they can hang heavy by your sides. They can rest on your legs. Some people like to put their hands on their heart, their hands on their belly, whatever feels good for you, but just let them hang heavy. Yeah. If you're ready now, you're feeling really good and comfy, you can close your eyes if you want to. If that feels too much, maybe find a fixed spot to look upon, or just avert your gaze, whatever feels good. And just bring your focus to your breath. Feel that cool air rushing in and the warm air flooding out. Cool air rushing in, warm air flooding out. Cool air rushing in, warm air flooding out. See if you can find the point in your body where your breath changes from being cool to being warm. Does it change within your nose as you breathe in, within the back of your throat, as that breath rushes towards your lungs, deep within your lungs as your rib cage expands, within the front of your throat as your rib cage contracts once more, pushing the air out, or finally within your mouth, before your lips softly purse and release that breath back into the universe. Cool air rushing in, warm air flooding out. Cool air rushing in, warm air flooding out. As that cool air rushes in, it's seeking through your body now, looking for any knots, any tensions, any worries that you're carrying within you. And as that warm air floods out, you have permission to just breathe them away, sigh them away, calmly let them go. You can always pick them back up later if you need them. But in this time, in this space, you are perfectly held, perfectly protected, perfectly safe to just let go. Feel your body release and sink into the surface beneath you, perfectly held, perfectly supported, perfectly safe. When you're ready, you can follow my voice as we travel on a journey. In front of you now is a door. Take a few moments to really breathe in the detail. Is it wooden, metal, plastic, something else? Is it a door made purely of light? Are there patterns upon it, or is it plain? Does it have a colour? Take a moment now to see how to open this door. Does it have a knob? Does it have a handle? Can you simply push it open? When you're ready, you can reach forwards and open the door. On the other side, you can see a pathway. It invites you and beckons you, and you know you are safe and protected, and you can walk through the door onto the pathway. As you step through, take a few moments to just breathe in the cool and refreshing air around you. You can see the sky above. Maybe you can hear the distant sound of water, birds singing in the trees, unseen insects chirping and calling around you. A short way in front of you is a forest, and you know it is the right thing to step forward and walk into the forest. Within a few steps, the pathway in front of you becomes trodden down grass. The fields either side give way to trees, shrubbery and bracken around you. Your pathway is clear, but you are cocooned and safe in the sanctuary the wood provides. Maybe you can hear the call of different birds, the scurry of little animals through the shrubbery and undergrowth around you, the sigh of the wind through the trees as it blows a gentle breeze, rustling your clothes, refreshing you. You continue to walk forwards. Your soul feels at peace here. In front of you now, you can see a clearing. The sound of water is slightly louder here. At first, it appears the clearing is empty. You might prefer to take a seat. Make sure you are comfortable. And before long, somebody joins you. This is your guide on the next part of the journey. It may be somebody you already know. It may be somebody that you see regularly or not so often. It may be somebody who's not with us earthside any longer. It may be a new face. But they are somebody who stills your heart, quietens your soul, somebody who you can feel totally at peace with. Take a moment to embrace this person and feel the joy and love in their presence. When you step back, you realize that they are not alone. Your guide has brought somebody with them. They've brought along your baby, maybe more than one. Maybe your babies are here to see you. They may look like a tiny baby, newborn. They may look older, a toddler, an older child, maybe even a teenager or an adult. This is your child's soul, so the way you talk to each other is your choice. Your child is here to deliver a message. Take a few moments to just be with your child and feel the message that they have for you. It may be clear in words, it may be a picture, or maybe a feeling. Take a few moments in this glade to be with your child. When you are ready, Your guide can softly guide you that it's time to leave your baby here for now, to come away from your guide and step away from the forest. The feeling that you hold in your heart at this moment can remain with you as you bid your loved ones goodbye and turn around. You step back through the forest, listening to the soft rustle of grass beneath your feet, birds in the trees, distant animals calling. You still feel at peace. Your soul feels quiet and full of joy. Soon you are back on the path, and within a few steps you are back to the door. You left it open when you stepped through. This place is ready for you whenever you'd like to rejoin it. This wood awaits you. Your guide is always there. Your baby loves spending time with you. But for now, it's safe to step back through the door, back into your body, back into the here and now. Let a feeling of awareness creep into your fingers and your toes. You can give them a little wiggle if you want to. Let that feeling of awareness spread up into your feet, up into your ankles, up into your shins and your calves, up past your knees and into your thighs, up past your hips, up into your abdomen, into your lungs and your heart, up into your shoulders. Let that feeling of awareness rest there for a moment as the feeling in your fingers spreads up into your hands, up into your wrists, into your forearms, past your elbows and into your upper arms. Let the two feelings of awareness join in your shoulders, and together they can travel up into your neck, into your head, and when you're ready, into your face. You can open your eyes and come back into the room. Hi, I hope you enjoyed that. That can be really gorgeous, a really gorgeous visualization to go through. And as I mentioned at the time, you can do it every day if you want to. When I send the email through, there is that visualization on there, a recorded version of that visualization on there. I'm recording this Zoom call at the moment, so you can listen back either time and step back through that whatever feels good for you. If you enjoy it, it's there ready and waiting for you. As I say, I know that your baby is there already, just waiting for you. All we need to do is find out what those steps are, and it will be a little bit different for everybody, but just knowing that there is a journey to be had can be powerful. Wonderful. That's everything I wanted to go through with you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have enjoyed that, and I look forward to being in touch with you really soon about the Conscious Conception full program. And then hopefully I will see you on that in September. I'm super duper excited to start it and to share it with you. So I will see you soon. Look, I took my glasses off so that you could see my face because the glare was so bad, but now I can't see. I can't see to actually end the Zoom call. I'm going to pop them back on to end the Zoom call. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.